So after almost 7 long years, the 7th nation of Teyvat, Snezhnaya, is finally coming out. And it truly feels weird to get to this point, isn't it? This video will be basically my conceived thoughts, which are subject to change. The more information and of course when the nation actually comes out. And I know people are gonna really hate me for saying this, but I have not looked forward to a nation like I have for Snezhnaya since Fontaine. I'm not saying that I haven't ever been excited for, Natlan or Nodcry, but it's something about this trailer that got me truly excited for this nation. It might just be, long-winded hype because yes, everyone was looking forward to this nation, but I just truly adore how they went designing this nation. The architecture, the scenery, the music, it's really good. But I know what you're here for, okay? You want me to talk about the character designs. Alright, okay, let me just take a breath here, because I feel like I have a very different reaction compared to everybody else. Okay, so through the entire hype of leading up to the promo video for Snezhnaya, I kept my expectations pretty measured. I'm not saying that my expectations were in hell, but I have played this game long enough to know how Hoyo just operates. I mean, Nodcry was just preparing me for how they were gonna handle this nation. And I knew from the offset that Hoyo was determined to recycle the same silhouettes for their characters. And I know this is like the biggest gripe people have, that we're in a nation where it's cold and it's going to be incredibly story relevant and all of the ladies are walking around like they're not taking the cold seriously. And yeah, that's a valid criticism because the NPCs are allowed to get this memo and the playable characters are not. But unique view, I don't think they covered the men because they want them to be equipped for the cold. But unlike the ladies, they're afraid of men showing skin. It's almost after like Fontaine they came to that conclusion. Despite being in a hot climate, Aurora and Aoife still cover up. It just seems to be a matter of design principle because even circumstances doesn't seem to change that. Which I understand can't be annoying because they already established that people die in Snezhnaya because it's too cold. But I will say that these two get a pass since they look like performers and they're not necessarily dressing for the outdoors since they do all of their activities indoors. But with all that in mind, what do I think about the Tsaritsa's design? I like it. No, it's not the most perfect design and it does have its issues. But I don't know, with all the fear-mongering around the Tsaritsa's design, I expected it to be like truly horrible. So when I finally saw it, I was like, oh, cool. That could have been worse. Now, it doesn't make it an amazing design if it's simply not as bad as you thought it was going to be. Well, no. But it at least gives me things to appreciate about it. I like that her snowflakes look like stars because, her whole thing is opposing gods. I like this cube effect on her polearm to nail that home. It's almost like she's sort of mocking them. I like this flower on her cape being a dramatically different color from the rest of her outfit. It stands out to emphasize its importance and her connection to her son. I like that her dress is supposed to look like Russian court attire with the wide neckline. Although it would emphasize that idea better if they knew how to attach her sleeves. Why is her skirt so disproportionately layered? I'm mainly talking about this front part. Since it's so long, it just draws your eyes to how stupid it looks in the front. With all that being said, I'm still hopeful, but with my speculation being held close.